sina Hassan Whiteside, Giannis Antetokounmpo at Kemba Walker at ilan lang yan sa mga young guns ng NBA na nagpo-post ng career numbers sa ongoing season. At yan na rin kaya ang kanilang ticket para maging first-time All-Star. Para sa usapan na yan, kasama natin ang basketball analyst, ang batikan na si The Hoop Nut, Enzo Flojo.
Hey, Mix, batikan talaga. Wow.
Siyempre, what's up, Enzo? Welcome back to The Score. Alam mo, Enzo, sa mga na-mention ko ng mga players na to, sana mga players ko na yun lahat sa fantasy. Kung players natin lahat sa fantasy,
sure ball number 1.
Sure ball champion na. But of course, let me start off with the Hassan Whiteside. You know, we were just talking about it earlier during the break na ito journeyman to si Hassan Whiteside eh. 'Di ba? Pero right now, franchise player na. Malaking bagay ba ngayon na yung pagka-exit ni Dwayne Wade na talagang na-establish niya yung sarili niya to be the main guy for the Miami Heat?
I think so. I think that that's what the Miami Heat were banking on when they chose him over Dwayne Wade over in the off season.
Yes.
Of course, Dwayne Wade now with the Chicago Bulls, that void is being filled by Hassan Whiteside, who's emerging as their most productive player, their leader on the floor as well. And itong Miami, if they make the playoffs, eventually, if they do that, he's going to be the biggest reason why. I think he's the best center right now in the NBA. He's averaging about 18 points, 16 rebounds per game, close to 3 blocks.
Yes.
He is just a monster right now for the Miami Heat.
But right now for the Miami Heat, they're currently struggling at 4-9. 12 sila ngayon sa East. Medyo on a slump, pero matagal pa naman ng season.
Matagal pa.
But now let's go on to the other team of the East, kina Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks, the Greek Freak. He's averaging 21 points, close to 9 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. What an all-around player. So, pero tingin mo, ngayon pang ilang year na ni Giannis Antetokounmpo?
I think he's in his 4th season already.
On his 4th season, and currently he's gradually improving.
So
tingin
much.
Tingin mo, Enzo, meron pa ba siyang kailangang improve?
Well, definitely. No? Nasabi mo, Migs, yung numbers niya across the board have been really, really good. He's an all-around threat on both ends of the floor. He's the only guy, I think, on the planet who can get baseline to baseline in like 4 strides. Diba?
Ang haba!
Oo, pero gaya ng sabi mo, Migs, he's not a perfect player. If there's one thing he needs to improve on, I think it's outside shooting.
Okay.
If you watch a lot of Bucks games, the one thing that a lot of opposing teams like to do is to sag off of him or iwan siya.
Okay.
Give him space kasi his outside shot is very inconsistent. Ang problema lang doon, if you give him space, he's so athletic, he's so good, he's so long, yung spasyo na yun, he uses that to create momentum, parang LeBron James, to get to the basket and finish really, really strong.
So he sees that positive, yung weakness niya na nagsasag off sa kanya, yun naman yung ginagawa niyang advantage dahil sa kanyang length. Pero ngayon, speaking of length, pumunta naman tayo sa Minnesota Timberwolves kay Karl Anthony Towns. Cat, of course, one of the breakout players with Andrew Wiggins. Zach LaVine's doing okay right now. But how big, gaano kahalaga si Cat, Karl Anthony Towns sa franchise ng Timberwolves?
Well, I think he is the franchise for the Timberwolves. Now, Andrew Wiggins, of course, was pick number 1, really, really hyped up, picked by Cleveland and traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Kevin Love. So Wiggins is a big part of that team. But what we're seeing from Karl Anthony Towns, starting last year, rookie pa lang siya, he averaged about 18 points, 11 rebounds. Right now, he's up his scoring. His rebounding has dipped a little bit, pero this is a guy who shoots close to 2 triples per game. So he's added that dimension to his style of play as well. He is the Minnesota Timberwolves right now. He represents the hope of that franchise. And a lot of people, before the season began, picked Minnesota to maybe be a sleeper playoff team.
Correct.
Mainly because of Karl Anthony Towns. No? So he's really, he has a lot of upside. But apart from that, we're seeing so much production from him, even if he's just in his second year in the league.
Ito nga si Kat, he's averaging 22 points and close to 10 rebounds with 2 threes, you mentioned. Parang ala Kevin Love.
Grabe!
Kevin Love nasa Minnesota siya.
Yes, if Kevin Love were longer and could jump higher, that would be Anthony Towns.
Okay, dumako naman ulit tayo sa East. Finally, one of my favorite players this season, finally nag-breakout na. Alam mo, itong si Kemba Walker. Yung kaibigan ko, pinangalan niya yung aso niya dahil kay Kemba Walker. And that was 4 years ago. And right now, finally, Kemba Walker is like averaging 24 points.
Yes, career high yan.
Career high, 4 rebounds and 5 assists. What took him so long?
Well, I think it's really just the opportunity for Kemba Walker. I think being with Charlotte for such a long time already, the team just really realized the potential in Kemba Walker. They signed him to a big deal a couple of seasons ago, and they basically told him, here are the reins of the team.
Okay.
You take us, you carry us wherever you can take us.
The baton must pass on to him. Yes.
And last year he had a breakout season, averaged about 20 points last season. A lot of people felt he should have made the All-Star team early in 2016, and definitely with the numbers he has, gaya ng sabi mo, Migs, career high in scoring, and I think Charlotte's a very good chance of making the playoffs. I think it'll be a mortal sin for him to not be included in the East All-Stars this season.
Yeah, speaking of the playoffs, I actually wrote a piece for Charlotte sa NBA PH blog natin. And right now, they're the fourth team in the East right now. Pero ngayon, Kristaps Porzingis. Wow, what a breakout player also. Many doubted nung dinraft siya sa New York last year. Pero ngayon, ang galing, 20 points and 7 rebounds per game. How is he fitting in to the New York system?
I think he's fitting in really well and adjusting really well to his second season. No? And gaya ng sabi mo, Migs, this is a guy who has had to battle through a lot of doubt and adversity. Much of that coming from inside New York pa. Diba? Because if you look at the history of guys as big as Kristaps, coming from Europe with a lot of hype, hindi marami sa kanila ang nag-succeed. Konting-konti lang. May Pau Gasol ka, may Dirk Nowitzki, pero mostly may Tsikitishvili ka, may Darko Milicic. Ang daming players na 7 feet tall, shoot daw sa labas, pero who were never able to make it in the NBA. And you have this guy, he's about 7'3", Latvian. He's just burst onto the scene. At 7'3", yung athleticism niya has been unprecedented. He can shoot the three, he can block shots. And ang maganda sa kanya, in his sophomore season, wala siyang sophomore slump. He's upped his numbers across the board as well. Even with the entry of Joakim Noah and Derrick Rose, ang ganda lalo ng nilalaro ni Kristaps Porzingis.
Alam mo si Kristaps Porzingis, wala nga sa itsura niya eh.
Wala
yung magiging
talaga.
breakout player. Athleticism, wala rin. Sabi mo, unprecedented. Yung build niya parang bagitong-bagito.
Parang patpatin, di ba? Pero grabe.
Pero ito, parang nakapagbuo tayo ng starting five dito for an all-star cast.
That could be a future starting five for an all-star team.
Alright, so pero ngayon, syempre, medyo mahaba-haba pa in the season, November, and then I think they will have to do a better job in their December games and their January games para maging worthy sila of the all-star votes.
Consistency is gonna be the key for them.
Yes, and we're very excited to see these guys in the All-Star. Enzo Flojo, the Hoop Nut, maraming salamat dito sa ating usapan sa The Score.
Hi guys, keep watching The Score for the latest sports updates and don't forget to subscribe to the ABS-CBN Sports in Action YouTube channel.